I write this from a very weary and exhausted point in my life. Summer as the season has begun, but it's already been a very mixed bag. Whether it's sunny, it's bound to rain, and whenever it's rainy, it's bound to be clear skies again. I'm sitting in my chair on a warm June night, just looking at my community, checking every small little interaction. Just my friend's presence there is enough to remind me that the day after will be okay. Some are new, and others have been here much longer than you'd actually like to believe. And Natsu really is like a home to me. In the beginning, it was planned to be as like a, I don't know how to word it. It's very silly to word, but big YouTuber no care server, you know? So it's like, okay, the creator may be big, but this has nothing to do with anything. This is just chat without knowing anything else. This server has existed for 5 years now, and every moment people have been there have just meant the world to me, even if they don't talk a lot on it. And recently, I've also turned 18. I've been excited, I've been nervous, I've been joyous, I've been sad. And overall, I just really don't know what to do at this point. The geopolitical world is still exhausting, so there isn't a place for me there that much. My second year at my special needs school has just finished, and now I'm entering a very turbulent point in life yet again. What do I do? What kind of job will I have? What kind of job should I have? Am I gonna have early retirement? Should I find another school? I really don't know. What doesn't make it much better too is that I just got a new computer for a mind-numbing 16,000 Danish kroner, which was experiencing problems too. Me and one of my best friends have both lost people in our families, so loss was also contributing to a lot of pain around this time. I had finally gotten my signed print from Milky Waste after 8 months of basically just what felt like full-on stagnation. All these things and more lead to why I'm making this video in the first place. As I write this, everything looks so up close to my eyes. That's something my eyes kind of do, and I don't know why, but that's besides the point. Like, you know, when you are like reading a book and then suddenly the text appears to be too big for you or zoomed in. That's how it feels right now. So forgive me if I fumble a little bit throughout this. This will be all over the place, but I'll try regardless. Let's do this. I have not been doing well lately. Sure, there have been very positive things happening to me too, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like everything is fine and dandy, and I'm not gonna pretend like I know the solution to all of this. Like, for example, I've realized something very strange. I noticed that for some reason, and this will sound strange, I'm tired of being challenged all the time. Now, I know in life you're told to constantly challenge yourself, go outside your comfort zone, and overall just go way beyond than you think you're gonna go. That would be a good thing for anybody else in any time, really. Right now, I just don't feel that. I've challenged myself a lot more since this year began. Now, I know that just because I try doesn't mean the problem is then automatically solved, but what happens if you stay challenged for so long that you forget where you originally came from? Suddenly every day is a challenge for you, and sometimes you don't even know the fucking answer. Sometimes you don't even know where you're going. And that's how I felt after a certain point. I search for a lot of validation sometimes, even if I can already tell what the answer is going to be. But I'm one of those people that often love seeking peace of mind, so I know whenever I go to bed, whenever I wake up, I don't go ruminating on what ifs all the time and just accept that's how it is and then go on normally. To know that I'm loved or seen by at least one person. I think I overthink a lot. And I think just that need for validation really amplifies that tenfold. And I think one of the reasons is I kind of struggle with trust nowadays. You really can't tell whether you're being honest or sarcastic anymore, because in some way or another, if a conversation I have gets too long or repetitive, it starts to feel bitter. Like, I don't want to help you, just please get this over with. And I'll be honest, I've encountered individuals who really have refused to give me that validation, which in a way it's very understandable. Sometimes you just get so sick of the am I worth it or did I do nothing wrong until it's grown so repetitive that you just want to say shut the fuck up and hit yourself in the head. I understand that, but I still feel that need for validation even today, even as an adult now. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. but I hope that I could do better in all of this. That being said, though, like I said, I'm so fucking tired of being challenged. I know I have to start getting more serious with life, but how do I do it when life is already a whirlwind for me? I don't know, honestly, but there is one thing, a very strange thing. In retrospect, I've kinda changed. I've realized I've become so deeply honest about something whenever something is holding me down. And I think the reason for that is simply just a mentality of, alright, this is affecting me, let's just get this over with. And it's not that I don't care, it's because I realize that some ways just don't work all too well with it. Sometimes my executive functions just, for some reason, decide not to bother with my brain, or just the motivation to talk has basically just dried out. I've become a lot more matter of fact, maybe a little less afraid than I was, say, 5 years ago. But I still think that the world is a fucking scary place. For example, as much as I love to wander places constantly, my own well-being comes before anything else. And sometimes I could end up taking longer routes home, either to A, enjoy something for a bit longer, or B, take time to contemplate things before I come home. And you could probably be able to tell both of these things very often intersect. It is just a feeling of coming down in the evening after what may have just been an eventful morning or subpar noon. I realize that it doesn't take too much for me to start getting exhausted. I was recently rejected from the Danish military, given it's mandatory to sign up, quote unquote, as soon as you turn 18. And given my diagnosis of infantile autism, I was rejected after a few weeks' time because they don't accept individuals into the military who have that. But to be brutally honest, that took a massive burden off my shoulder. But here's the thing. I know I might appear cold sometimes, but that doesn't mean I don't have a heart. That doesn't mean I go out in war zones to kill innocent people in squadrons. That doesn't mean I stand for something else on someone else's part. I did not want to join the military because I have a very firm hatred for the military. I had a teacher in 8th grade who was from the military who basically ignored all my problems I had and just treated me like, quote unquote, a man. He pressured me. He dragged me back. Later on, he was fired for undisclosed reasons. In hindsight, I'm happy, but also I'm deeply mad because I feel it invalidates what I went through. But I also feel like if I ruminate on it any longer, it's gonna be like beating a dead horse. He's out of my life, so why should I care? Now I know the military is a deeply diverse area and that everyone is different, but the image I often just get from the military is very impersonal, something people want to mold you into. Hell, strip the personality from the body pretty much. They only want your strength. And that's especially fucking sad as an autistic non-binary person. But a lot has changed. It's been 2 years since I left my primary school now. Ever since then, I finally managed to get into a much more friendlier school. It may not exactly meet all my needs, but that's okay. I don't expect perfection either way. It's been good, but I'm not gonna pretend like it's been terrible either. It's been about 6 months now since my wisdom tooth removal. Specifically my last 2 lower jaw wisdom teeth. It sucked, I do admit. It was genuinely not a fun time. It sucked having to eat soft foods all the fucking time, taking ibuprofen, even go through what I can only describe as a temporary out-of-pitch ear. Yeah, I heard everything about minus 30 cents or so out of tune for a while. You don't need to be an audio expert or anything. All you need to know is my ears fell out of tune ever so slightly. And as someone who constantly does audio work, composing, and other shit like that, it was a really deep annoyance. So getting rid of that was definitely a must. I know you're tired of hearing about Trump. I'm tired of hearing about Trump. That's another tale entirely. Because again, I'm not a politics channel. Sure, I could end up getting very fall philosophical at times, but other than that, I'm not really an expert. I have ideals, I have a moral compass, and I am what you'd consider a minority. But all in all, I just have my own views on the world. One, last thing I'll talk about is just more or less a checkpoint of my life, but something in regards to Natsu itself. This song, We're in This Together, I feel is the first time I really felt something truly touch my soul. And I felt it. I really did. My main goal with this song was to bring comfort. It was not to pretend like everything would be okay, because I wouldn't want to put you in a false peace of mind and then snap right back in just pure heartbreak at the state of the real world. It's a track I made more to acknowledge that things will be bad, and that very much still are bad. But yet again, even after a year and a half of that song's release, I feel the message remains steadfast. We're in this together. We're all still in this together, and absolutely nothing is going to change that. I'm no doctor, I'm no therapist, I'm no psychologist. I'm just a person whose feelings came crashing down one day, and I could feel that sense of omnipotent heartbreak that was present that day. And so I used my time as well as I could to create a piece of art that was meant to comfort the disturbed. I was already very much feeling deeply lost in my life at that point, but this song kinda served as the flare shot before everything just plunged even further and further down. But you really don't need to psychoanalyze my work to understand a deeper message in this song. All that I mean is just, it's a song that's always gonna be there for you when you need it. And just that feeling that someone genuinely took comfort in your work, that it, in a way, was there for them when they were probably at their lowest. You can't help but shed a tear at that feeling. I'm just really happy I'm able to make a difference. No matter how small or insignificant it is. Like, even I take comfort in this song sometimes. I don't know why I did this, but I'm happy that I made this. And I'm happy that it's there for you. And I'll say this, and I'll say it a million times more. We're in this together. This is your sign to stay alive. But now, it's time to fast forward. Fast forward to today. Really, a lot is the same, except I'm just even more confused. I don't know what to do at this point in the script, and that's another thing I realize is so much of what I do is just a strong start, but a very, very weak finish. But at this point, I'm really just gonna write what's on my mind at this time, as it can be kind of fun for someone to look inside of my mind in a way to see what it is that I walk around thinking a lot of the time. I've tried many times to make drafts of scripts to try to make a video addressing where I've been, why I don't upload as often, and generally why everything has just appeared so stagnant on my end. And the truth is, I just don't know what to say. And even if I do know what to say, with what constantly happens in my life, it's hard to get a grip on a very specific thing to talk about while everything else comes crashing down around you. So if I venture off topic every now and then, please forgive me if I steer off topic suddenly, but I feel like I'll use this video as a chance to finally make a draft I feel is worth making into an actual thing, and isn't just left on the cutting room floor. So, here we go again. For those of you who don't know who I am, hello, I'm Magnus. I use they, them pronouns. I'm non-binary. I compose music. I create videos. I take interest in a lot of different things like collecting and listening to music and just kind of enjoying life. For long-time viewers though, I want to express my deepest apologies for having broken so many promises. It's been a little bit of everything, to be honest. Here in December I had my last 2 wisdom teeth removed. It definitely sucked quite a lot. I've already talked about it, but honestly, it really sucked eating soft foods for what felt like basically an eternity inside my room. But it's 6 months later now, and I barely feel any pain from where it used to be. I'm unfortunately still sick as of recording right now. You can probably tell my voice is a little bit raspy, but I'm trying to get through the script regardless. So you can all bother me with the "are you ready to pay your taxes" question. Yeah, shut the fuck up. I've already been asked about that a million times, and it really doesn't help a lot. Basically, most that has happened to me recently, I've basically just told about. I've unfortunately gotten very sick, as I've said, and yesterday was probably my damn worst that I've been at in a while. I'm trying my best to get better. We'll see how it goes, though. Other than that, right now, I'm fine. Not on top, but I'm fine. This is a very tough question for me to answer, and I debated whether or not I should really talk about this at all. But my gut decided it was finally worth for me to talk about. I released Fear of a Foreign World on August 8th, 2024. This is my latest mainline album as of to date. I think it's just, after that album came out, I became trapped in this weird state of limbo. The song Point of No Return is almost 2 fucking years old, and so is Fear of a Foreign World. But I can tell you that even though I've basically built and built again, burned down project after project, rewritten, recomposed, re-fucking everything, I think I've finally managed to get somewhat of motivation to finally start at least something again. Yes, I know I've released various singles, remixes, or mega mixes, but I don't consider them to exactly be albums. Albums are something that I adore, something that takes time. They tell a story. They deliver a sonic and emotional energy that is uniquely yours. It's just, after Trump won the election back on November 5th, I'll be honest with you, I was scared to make anything at all. My main focus at that time in life was to just look after my community, because I knew people were scared. I don't live in America, but I completely resonate with so many non-binary and trans people's struggles over there. Ultimately, I think it was really just a case of, should I be doing X at a time like Y? Because I'd feel it would be distasteful, ignorant, or downright disrespectful to ignore their suffering. But after having critiqued politics for way too much, even though it's still basically a hellfire today, and talking about it would basically just tire me out until I'd run out of breath. So really, my methods of creating my music are honestly really ill-advised in my opinion. Dissociating creating music out of that, having heavy topics linger over my head until I can eventually form a sentence about it, and just sitting in my room all day, struggling to find the right thing to do for the time being, because I could think about different things or get demotivated very fast. So what date this album will be released, I cannot say for certain right now, but it will absolutely not be forever until it comes out. I'll eventually get myself up off the ground and start composing again proper. I promise that one way or another, it will eventually happen. It will not take forever. I promise. Now, I could make the same stupid, tiring, I'm afraid of how people perceive me, and then do what you think is best. That thought can be comforting, but also very isolating depending on how you look at it, because it strips everything away until it leaves one thing: you. Why I don't speak up sooner is really a me problem, but I can give certain examples. It took quite a while for me to begin talking about the loss of my family, mainly because I want to keep it private for the sake of everybody. Another one is really me writing this right now. I'm really cautious about what I'm saying right now and conveying to you, because honestly, often I don't get to think twice. I'm afraid that things might get misconstrued by the wrong audiences, and I'm kind of afraid of getting doxxed. I'm afraid that my music will only appeal to a certain audience that really doesn't feel like mine. Now, I know that last one is kinda unavoidable, but I still think it's frustrating. Really, I end up finding many ways to procrastinate, whether my executive functions just kinda give up on me, or I just feel completely demotivated to begin with. Oh, there's the ice cream man. Really, I end up finding many ways to procrastinate, whether my executive functions just kinda give up on me, or I just feel completely demotivated to begin working on something and then executing said idea. But again, like I said, with how things have been for me, it ends up mostly all the time falling into the same work umbrella. A strong start, but a weak finish, is like I said earlier. The idea of creation is something I'm absolutely sprawling with sometimes, but the polishing of that end result is what is most difficult for me. I don't want to polish to fundamentally change what that idea was. I don't want to soften any of the edge that makes what the idea was so raw and authentic. And most of all, just human. Yes, I may sand the edges here and there for the sake of the platform I'm doing this on, but at the same time, you get my point. So, TLDR, I'm scared of the wrong audiences, scared of being misunderstood, and I often procrastinate, and I'm very sorry about that. This is very, very personal for me, and I deeply ask you from the bottom of my heart to not look into what I've made in the past to possibly use against me, take advantage of, or whatever. Whether that be me seen as having a different worldview than I have today, whether that be me trying to blow something completely out of proportion, or starting drama. And if you're someone who misses that part of me that used to make things like that, I've only got one answer for you. Please move the fuck on with life. Okay, so given YouTube's incredibly strict policies that can result in age restrictions on my videos, whether that would be about albums or an actual video that has something to say, I find the behavior of requesting ID and photo to be absolutely unacceptable. When it comes to music, I want to steer your attention to a place that does not require you to do any of that. Bandcamp is officially where I upload all of my music. You can listen to my music, you can download my music, and overall, just listen to the music without any corporate fucking assholes getting in the way of your listening experience. As for paying, you really don't have to. It's generous, but still, you really don't have to. Bandcamp provides a give all or nothing mentality for buying your music, so you can literally pay $0 and still listen to my music. And honestly, I'd kind of recommend you pay for free. And as for those asking if I'll move to Spotify, the answer is an absolute definitive no. Daniel Ek is an absolute loathing parasite who invests your money into AI drone technology, and I do not side myself with directly or indirectly paying any dollars into that man's pocket. So Spotify, absolutely not. I do also have a SoundCloud, but it's a bit abandoned. I might get back to it, but we'll see. Yes. Yes. Again, it's really hard for me to say. I've just recently been hit by many mental and physiological whatchamacallits, but I think I can say how I feel. I feel exhausted, overloaded, burned out. I'm not dead. I'm just currently in a state where I'm just too weary to even budge with creativity in a way that can actually give a end result. I've been sick. I've been happy. I've been absolutely fucking devastated. I've been all over the map, to be honest. And right now, I don't know why I'm making this video. It feels, pardon my way of saying it, but so selfish to do. I've probably already repeated that in a sentence somewhere in this video already, but hell if I know. I just wanted to share some really long overdue status about my well-being. So, here I am. I'm still sad, I'm still not on top, but I'm making it through somehow. I focus so much on others, but I've also begun focusing on myself. It's difficult, but again, I feel like I'll figure something out eventually. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. That's how I see it anyway. I think that imperfection is a beautiful thing. Now, I really haven't recorded a proper outro segment for this, but I'd figured it would be best not to leave you all in the dark feeling sad about me, so I'll leave you with something a little bit more uplifting. One day, I decided to commission a cameo from Firefly from Honkai Star Rail's voice actor, Analesa Fisher. They had some very kind words and advice to give to me, and I think you should hear it too. I cried like shit at 6 a.m. watching this because I just couldn't wait to watch it anymore. But there it was. Their voice talking to me. It was enough. It was 2 minutes, but it was enough. It was enough for me to wake up, literally and otherwise. Alright. I'll let Fisher do the rest. I love you all. Please take care.
Hi Magnus! It is the voice of Firefly, Analesa Fisher. First of all, happy 18th birthday. I hope you had an incredible day. I hope you got all of the Firefly merch that you want. I don't know if you've been to round 1 lately, but there's a whole bunch of new Honkai Star Rail and Stellaron Hunter specific merchandise. So if you've got anyone to go with, go play some games, have a good time. Hopefully that will be fun. I heard that life has been a little bit of a struggle lately, and I'm really sorry to hear that. Being non-binary and autistic myself, I know that life comes with many, 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 many challenges, but I can promise you that every single year it does get better. How I felt when I was 10 was way different than how I felt at 15, way different than how I felt at 18, and now being an adult, like, it's hard to put into words. I can just promise you it does get easier. You find your people, you find your tribe, and more importantly, you find yourself, and I think that that's where the heart of it comes from, is that if you can look in the mirror and love yourself and love who you are and love your brain and love how your brain and your body communicate and love all of it, you are gonna go so much farther than you think you will. My best piece of advice is to really trust your gut. I think that as autistic people, we have really good intuition, and I think if you meet people that are maybe not the best people to be around or the best people to be around for you and the accommodations you need, you'll kind of know right away. And I say just trust that feeling, because I promise you, you will find your people if you haven't already. And if you have, man, hold on to them with everything that you got. So that's that. I hope you're doing much better. I hope you had a great birthday, and just, every time it gets hard, take a deep breath and remember, every year it will get easier. Life somehow finds a way. And with that, Firefly would like to say something to you. Why do people choose to sleep? I think it's because one day we will wake up from that dream. And just as Firefly said it, that whole line is about following your dreams. So stay the course, love yourself, follow your dreams, and life can be pretty freaking awesome. Okay.